the Author Collaborative. As always, I'll be talking to an author whose book I have recently read and enjoyed. And my guest for this week is Ananya. She is a fantasy author, and I first came across her fantasy writing through her blog. And it was only later, once I became an admirer of her fantasy stories, that I came to know that she has also written fantasy books. And today we are going to talk about the fantasy series, the Sahara Chronicles, that she has written. I have read the first book in the series, and we are going to talk about that book and a lot more. So do stay connected. Uh, and it's going to be a very exciting episode. She is coming on the show for the first time, and in fact, she is doing such an appearance related to her books also for the first time. So I am very excited to talk to her. Do stay connected. Hi, Sukana. Thank you for joining. And is able to join us. We should be able to start the episode in a few moments. Please stay connected. There seems to be some Instagram glitch that's not allowing me to start the episode. Hopefully, it should work this time. Okay, Ananya is not here yet. Hi, Tejas. Thank you for joining. Hi, Ananya. I have sent you a fresh invitation, Ananya. See if you're able to join. Okay. Are you able to see me?
Yes. No, both. Not able to see myself, I'm not able to see you also. ये क्या हो रहा है? Your camera is fine, no?
No, camera is fine. This time, the glitch has worked both ways. I am also not able to see you. I think we should give this one more try. It should work. I'll start. Yeah.
Oh, this was an now I can see me because the camera mode was, front camera के back camera हो गया था
Okay.
इसलिए
I am
हाँ
not able to see you, but I think that should be fine now. चलो, कोई बात नहीं.
okay.
We continue like this because it's been a while. We are already very late. So, firstly, welcome to the show. Very excited to have you as a first time guest. Before we start, please, Ananya, introduce yourself to the audience briefly.
Yes, hello, my name is Ananya and I'm 29 years old. I loved telling my age. So, and I have a master's in history
Hmm.
and a BA training.
Hmm.
And I am also like, these were just 5 years, 2 years each. So it's like 4 years of, but I've been writing for almost 2 decades. So,
Oh,
and
wow.
I don't even have a diploma for it. So, yeah. Anyway, and I think the first time I started writing online, it was before that for about 4 or 5 years, I was writing offline on MS Word.
Hmm.
And after that, I moved to WordPress. I made my first blog on WordPress,
Hmm.
and it is still there. It has a long that old posts. It'll be very lengthy actually. You probably see it from January 2016 or 2019, I think. So
Okay.
anyway, and
Okay.
uh, uh, yeah, and after that, I discovered Wattpad. So when I started writing on Wattpad, so when it's blog writing, it's just you write whenever you want in different segments, right? You know how a blog works, right? But when it comes to Wattpad, it's like a book. So you have a cover page. It's like a Kindle book, right? You have a
Hmm.
cover page and you have chapters in between, in chapters at each page, and that might have been like an indirect motivation for me to write novel on novel. By now, I have written like 20 plus novels. I can't even count how many I've written.
Wow.
And
That's lovely.
yeah, that's the
Wow.
short me as a writer.
So it began 20 years ago. So you were 9 years old. So you have been writing as a since you were a child. That is
Huh.
very commendable.
So almost 9 years. Sorry, 19 years like that.
Okay. Wow, that is amazing and so commendable. You have inspired so many people by saying that, including myself. Wow.
Thank
Keep
you.
it going. I just want to say that. And now coming to your book, I first of all want to show everyone the cover.
Yeah.
And we put the cover also then. So this is the cover of the book. I think you might be having the paperback, so please show everyone the paperback.
I had one, but I had to give it away for a giveaway prize.
No worries. So the cover is very much visible on my tab because I don't have the Kindle, I have the tab, so it is visible in color to everyone. And tell me about the elements on the cover, Ananya. What are we looking at?
Okay, so you would be looking at the main thing I think you will see is some wooden thing that is there in the middle, right? It's
Yes.
square in the middle of the cover. So that would be uh, the main element of the book. So I like to symbolize my covers. Like my stories almost never have faces on them. So it's mostly symbolic, everything that is symbolic. And here, this is a staff. It is very symbolic because it highlights the two of the main characters in the series and in this book particularly. And it is a very it's also very the maybe it's probably the most powerful magical weapon that you can find in that world
Hmm.
that
Yes.
my main character has achieved during his what we might call a graduation. So he actually York Castle. He is the one of the main characters, and the story actually starts with him. So he had inherited that from Merlin, his his predecessor, rather his teacher.
Hmm. Okay. Ah.
So,
Okay.
and since Yor is a very um, central figure, so this also highlights that.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
before we dive into the book, I'm going to show everyone the cover one more time. And I want to talk about how interesting the book was for me. You have actually, what I found most interesting was that you have created characters out of elements that we have read about in mythology, or we might have heard in different stories also across the years. If someone is a reader of, they are for sure they have heard the terms before. So you have used chaos, you have used characters like Merlin and Celia, and that was very interesting for me because you have humanized them in the story. And then you have weaved a tale around some characters who were in a war previously, but now the war is happening again, and how the lead characters are connected to the previous war, and how all of them come together. That forms the base of the story, which I found very interesting because the story continues for generations. We are not looking at few years; we are going back generations to look at how and when it all began. And there is a time parallel which is going back and forth, which also I found very interesting. So nicely done, Ananya. And now I am going to read out one passage, one of the few passages which I really enjoyed reading because you have talked about the balance between lightness and darkness. And I think that is the essence which we can connect, something that we can connect to in reality also. Even if this is fantasy, that is something that, something we can probably, imbibe in our lives.
Yes, yes. True.
So this is from the chapter The Dark Princess here, and I am going to read out from this chapter. I will start from the paragraph where we are talking about the difference. At long
Yes.
last, she removed herself from him, and the scene in the magic bubble grew clearer again. Yor felt he could release her now. Well, there is a
Mm.
tribe in the kingdom of Hermes, Almeida began once more, whose inhabitants have some amounts of darkness inherent in them. This has been passing on for generations from time immemorial. This darkness is to counter the light and balance both in nature. It had to be tethered to a human being because it is humans who can really control it. Pause. Of course, there is always the chance of going mad with power, but lesser as compared to any other creature. Yor nodded thoughtfully, his brain rereading old books at top speed. I've read about that. The Dark Tribe Morgan, isn't it? Morgana, the first witch, was its founder. So you are a reader. Indeed, my home is the library. She gave a sudden giggle, making him smile. Is that right? Oh, yes, you should probably visit sometime. Almeida nodded, her face becoming neutral again. Now, the scene in the bubble changed to what looked to be a grey battlefield with a vast amount of death and destruction surrounding them. After the Great War with Chaos, Almeida went on, my ancestor, by the name Salvador, offered to consume Chaos's darkness shortly before Lady Celia and Master Merlin vanished from the face of Sahara. Salvador was then the Dark Prince, Morgana Mion, because he had no sister. He later succeeded his mother and was named the first Morgana Mion in the history of the Morgans. Upon Salvador's death, his son Alendor inherited the darkness. Now, what all this means, I cannot explain much because for that you will have to read the book and understand the context of some of the terms used here.
Yes.
And Ananya has very thoughtfully given the glossary of terms at the beginning of the book before we start reading the story and dive into the series, which helps us understand when they are used in the story, which is something
Yes.
we'll come
Yes.
to later.
Yes.
Ananya,
Yeah,
please.
actually,
Yes,
the
please.
glossary, sorry to cut you off. Actually, yeah, the glossary is something I really love in hardcore books, especially fantasy and science fiction. I mean, I don't read much of science fiction, especially because it doesn't have glossary, because I'm not that, well versed with technology. So, and I understand that there are people who are not well versed with fantasy term. I mean, it's all in my head, but nobody can read my head, right? They can't read my mind. So, and it's always for myself also, so that in when I am going back to something, so book two has also been released. Book three I'm writing now. It will be released in December. So when I want to go back, or if I have a block, I want to go back and refer. How I can continue the flow. I need this glossary. So it's not just for the reader, it's for the author also.
Oh, lovely. And there you have given a hack to the fantasy writers also. Create a glossary for your own reference also, not just for the readers.
Yes, yes, I'm very forgetful.
No, that is very true. In fact, I also do that mostly for my reference. Yes, it is a good thing and an add-on that, helps the readers also. But I think the noting down of the characters and the terms that you are going to use in the book also helps us as a reference.
Yeah, I'm. This is just meanings of words. I was also thinking of making a character glossary. So, like you find in very select few historical fiction.
Hmm.
So I was thinking of making that also, maybe adding it at a later stage. So yeah, let's.
So you are going to provide a character glossary also. That would be interesting. Yeah, I would love to know what all these characters look like and what are their likes and dislikes. No, no, apart from the
Yes.
story itself, it would be nice to know them differently also.
Yeah, actually, yes, speaking of that, I actually do have, a collection of short stories that I have written in this world, like fan fiction, right? So some of them are extensions of some scenes from the books, some of them are extra scenes. So I have added some in some of the versions of the books, and then I, like, if I have five short stories. I've had it two in ebook, one in paperback, like that. But I have also decided to do an anthology at the end of the series. There is so four or five books there will be, and at the end there will be one anthology that I'm going to release. Short story, a collection of all these short stories in one.
Oh,
So everyone
interesting.
can pick it up. So
Lovely.
yeah.
Okay, based on my reading and what you have answered and let us know so far about the series and your journey as an author, I have a couple of questions for you. Are you ready to answer
Yeah.
those?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so my first question to you is I have talked about this before about the flow of the story, which was non-linear. And it is also interspersed with poetry, backstories, and changing point of views. Sometimes there is also a third person addressable to the reader directly. Now, tell us what inspired this and what were the challenges that you faced and how did you implement it all?
Okay. So, first of all, that this will go back to the history of how this book started. It was actually not a book. It started out as a short story. So when I was doing my BA, we had English as one of the compulsory subjects, right? So for 2 years we had, and the second year was about storytelling and creative writing and all. So we used to they used to tell us, they used to give us prompts and ask us to write a scene
Hmm.
and a short story now and then. So this was during one of the midterms that we were given a prompt to write a short story. I think I don't remember the word limit to that, but I'm sure I exceeded it. So even if there was. And if I remember well, the prompt was about, um, I think it was about a belt and a hat or something, and I think it was just a belt and a hat and
Okay.
a farmer, I think. It also included a farmer. So you need to
Okay.
write a short piece for this. So that's how it started. You remember part one, The Young Foreigner,
Yeah.
the first chapter of the book.
Yeah.
So that is essentially my short story. Of course, I eventually elaborated it and all, but it did have the main elements, the potion, the hat used as the mixing thing, so magical hat and the flute and the magical belt. So later I added backstories like how Yor got it, like he got it as from Merlin as
Hmm.
before. So before he started it on a journey. So and as for the poetry, so this was a short story for a long time, probably like 6 months maybe, and I had uploaded it on my blog and on Wattpad. And eventually, I'm not sure how, but I was inspired to write a poem.
Hmm.
You that formed the prologue for the young foreigner that
Hmm.
you must have read before. So, and that was essentially these two were different separate entities. And then I realized that this could be your. I read that poem over and over and thought this could be your. This could be
Okay.
your going on.
Hmm.
And I thought, okay, I will just put them together, put the short story and the poem together.
Hmm.
And somehow it wasn't weird to me. I don't know why. I
Okay.
never seen
Wow.
it
Hmm.
because I have read Lord of the Rings and it has a bit of songs in between. So this
Hmm.
instead of song, mine is poems. So
Hmm. Okay.
so maybe that's why I didn't find it very weird. And that eventually became my marketing sale point also. That this is
Oh.
prose poetry. So and usually I like to have changing points of views. Like I don't like to stick to one person or just two persons also. I like to, it is called omniscient uh, point of view. So I like that. I like to be the goddess in that world, writing
Hmm.
about different characters, and I like to let different characters speak. So
Okay.
once you're speaking, once Laurel will be speaking, once Apophis will be speaking. There was one chaos. point of view also there.
Yes.
So, and yeah, backstories as a fantasy, right? And as a fantasy reader, actually, I loved reading fantasy like since I was. I think my first fantasy was Narnia. So ever
Mhm.
since I picked up The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe at the age of 9 or 10 years, that's when I loved getting into a character's mind, thinking like, okay, if this was his reaction, why was this reaction? Why did he react like this? What was the backstory for that? So I just go like that, and I don't plan my stories. I just write as it comes. So the first draft is the plot. It's the plotting itself, and then I draft it at least 2, 3 times before sending it off to my editor, so that she doesn't get a messy copy.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the thing. And about the breaking the fourth wall, I think that's what you meant when you said
Yeah.
address it to the reader directly, right? So that is something I kind of absorbed from reading Enid Blyton.
Okay.
Sometimes even she talks like that to so she's like, okay, the reader is probably thinking why you're is doing this, something like that. So yeah.
Lovely.
It is
So,
all
inspiration from
yeah.
multiple authors and your own experiences. So, yeah, you
Yes,
just have to keep your mind open and let the creativity come to you, I guess.
yes. That is also one of my content warnings in the product page actually. So it is for readers with an open mind. You want a traditional fantasy, you don't probably won't like my book. So because yeah.
Yes. Okay, that brings me to my second question. I have also talked about the entities that you have made into characters. So you have made entities out of elements like lightness and chaos, and you have also used popular mythological beings like there's Merlin and Celia. What kind of research was involved in the characterization of these?
Okay. My first inspiration was chaos.
Hmm.
So it's actually from Egyptian myth. That
Hmm.
again, inspiration from Rick Riordan's Egyptian novels. I forgot. Magnus Chase was it? No, it is the name is different. But okay, so Rick Riordan has written these book series, each based on one mythology. So
Hmm.
there's Percy Jackson from Greek mythology, and then there was another from Roman mythology. So the third series was from the Egyptian mythology. So that here also chaos was one of and the yin yang theory that from China you get. And even our Asian mythologies, a lot of it have a mix of good and bad. There are you best example is Mahabharata.
Yeah.
So if our viewers have gone through Mahabharata, but there are a lot of gray area characters.
Hmm.
The character is not entirely good. The character Arjuna is not entirely good. I mean, he relishes in the fact that he has lost a competition, right? That he is the top. When um, uh, I forgot the tribal prince was asked to cut off his thumb.
Yeah.
So,
Eklavya.
so that means he is, but in the other way, he saves a lot of people. He saves his brothers in during the exile and
Hmm.
all of that. So, and he is a good team player also,
Yeah.
actually.
Yes.
So that is one very prime example, and even his Dronacharya, his teacher, even he's a very very gray area person. I
Yeah.
guess more evil than good, but that is see. And what I love the most about stories is how you can debate according to your perspective. You
Yes.
you agree to disagree in
Yes.
the end. That's the kind of
Exactly.
debates I like. So that's what I love to. I love as to bring out in my stories also. It
Mhm.
just comes. It's not like I put it consciously. It just comes because I was influenced by all these
Mm.
authors. So, and even in real world, when you see, I am doing an action which can be harmful to you but helpful to another person.
Yeah. Yes. Two sides of a coin. As you have also mentioned in the book, when you are talking about the balance between lightness and chaos, you talk about two sides, it being two sides of a coin.
Yes, yes. And Merlin was mostly from an inspiration from, yeah, the stories that I've read about Merlin as a child. And also Once Upon a Time, this American TV show, it also, actually, it was one of my prime influences for starting this book. And taking fables and mythology and uh, fairy tales and mixing them up and giving my own unique twist to it.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
But what was this show, American show that you said?
Once Upon a Time. It is called Once Upon a Time. I think it
Okay.
aired from 2007 to 7 years from then.
Okay. Oh
About
wow. So quite a long series. Okay. Yeah.
2015. I really don't remember when it aired, but when I was a teenager.
Okay. Lovely. Thank you for sharing that. I will check that out. Probably get influenced myself. Let's see. Okay. Thank you so much for answering those questions, Ananya. You have also read my latest book. The floor is now yours. Please share your experience of reading it.
Yes. So, okay. Basically, when I came across that book, I thought, okay, the title, I read the title, my jeans fit well and the ice cream did not melt, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be a contemporary novel, maybe a little bit of romance here and there, but a real world thing. So, okay, let's just check it out. And I read the blurb, same feelings, same vibes. Okay, fine, let's go. I bought the book. And I looked at the contents and I'm like, okay, this is weird for contents. And then I picked up the first page again and I'm like, hey, wait, this much? Just this? And I eventually when I started reading, I realized it's okay, it's a like a meme book based on, experiences, real life experiences, like how we come across in memes on Instagram or YouTube once in a while. This is like a book of memes, entire book of memes. So I'm like, okay, I can read. Actually, it was a very refreshing for me because I was into heavy reading until now, and I was also had a tiff with another author, another writer. She was like, I don't know, it disturbed me a little bit, and I thought, no, I want to read something light now.
Hmm.
I'm not able to find any books on my Kindle that I already bought.
Hmm.
And the library at my house failed to provide any light novel books. So I thought, okay, thought, yeah, this when I started reading that book, I was like, I went back to that feeling. I thought, yes, this is the book I wanted.
Oh, so you found the right book at the right time, actually.
Yes, exactly. And very fortunate, actually. I was very fortunate.
So happy to hear that it was my book that proved to be that respite for you.
Yes, yes. So, and alphabetical wise, I mean, I understood later as I was reading the book, I understood what the alphabets were about in the content page. And a lot of questions popped in my mind actually. And I thought, okay, let's just enjoy the book for now. So I was reading it. And I think about 95% I was relating to them. So,
Wow,
and if
so
I
happy to hear
list,
that.
it will be a very long list. So for now, I'll just, you know, um, share like three of the things that I was
Okay.
relating
Okay.
with. So in
Tell me the alphabet.
yeah, B,
B.
B for
Okay.
ball.
Okay. Yes.
So bursting bubble wraps,
Huh?
balloons also work, to be honest, really. And in the image, Manali probably, she's saying, I should be writing, but this is way more productive. And that happens to be bubble wraps. and popping bubble wraps. So let's call it intermission. See, I can still be creative while doing this, and well, it's cheaper than therapy, lol, and more satisfying too. They should send every package and parcel in bubble wraps. Exactly, that is my thought. To make consumers like me order more stuff. Wait, should I patent this idea? Yeah. So this took me back to a few months ago when we bought one toy kit for my kid. My kid is 2 year old by the way. And he too. So this is like it comes in different shapes. It is bubble wrap, but okay, think of it like a permanent bubble wrap. So when you
Yes.
take a package bubble wrap, it is and you burst that bubble, it is forever, right? Forever it is stays like that.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't come back up. So
Yeah.
this is two-way bubble wrap. So one way you pierce them and you turn the other way, it comes again as bubbles.
Wow.
You know, so you
Thanks for
you
this.
pierce them again, and then the other side, and then the other side. So my kid loves that, and there are four different shapes of that also, and yeah, it's a good stress buster.
Yep,
So I
definitely.
keep
Ananya, you have to share the link of this product with me. I need this in my life.
yes, yes. I think my husband got it on Blinkit. I will share it with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other one is about the blue ticks, the WhatsApp blue ticks.
Okay.
So, seeing notification on a chat conversation, I've been eagerly awaiting to look forward. The blue ticks have spoken, miracles do happen. Should I start typing my response or plot my revenge first? Better get to it quick, or I'll end up waiting a decade for their reply. When you were beginning to wonder if they are okay, and then, whoopee, yes, they're alive, but now you're annoyed. Yeah, it happens a lot between my husband and me. So
Thank you for reading
yeah,
that out.
also it's a little annoying when they have switched off the blue tick because
Yeah.
I am thinking, oh, have they seen? Have they seen? Have they seen? And especially when I have a lot of things to talk, I mean, especially when you have
You need
when
to
you're
write.
speaking to a person after a long time and they're not exactly buddy with you,
Hmm.
and you're just hello, hi, friends,
Hmm.
and and then suddenly you can't say like you need something from them. Maybe they are a lawyer or maybe they are a cartoonist or something. You need a favor from them or you need them to work for you for something, and then you can't just say, hey, can you do this favor? Hey, can you come to me? Can you work with me on this? You can't say like that, right? You have to
Yeah.
say, how are you doing?
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, that is a bit. I get a little bit impatient. So what I do, I have developed the habit of drafting it on notepad, and then as soon as they respond, I'm like, okay, I'm ready with my so that I'll not forget about it. I told you I'm a forgetful person, so immediately I copy paste it and then it's gone. So yeah.
Okay. Lovely. Any more that you want to read? Read out?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. See, convincing the husband to watch a chick flick and it turning out to be good. Listen, when he has next work from office day. Mostly tomorrow. Why though? I'm thinking of watching that rom-com, that the one that you said you weren't interested in. No, I don't mind. Let's watch it together after I'm back from work tomorrow. Secretly storing this in my mind pocket to use as a manipulation technique in the future. So yeah, there are a long list of. So before this, my husband and I are literally yin and yang. So he's opposite, I am opposite. I don't know how we, gel together as a family. I don't know how we do it. But he has a long list of shows and movies that he loves and I absolutely hate or I don't get. It's either way. And
Hmm.
the same thing with him also. He doesn't get rom-coms, he doesn't get fantasy. And the kind of fantasy, I mean, Lord of the Rings is the only fantasy he get, and that's the base with which we bonded actually.
Hmm. Okay. Lovely.
So one fine day, I'm like, okay, today is a holiday. Let's just watch this. You promise that you will watch it with me, or or especially when it comes to Asian dramas,
Hmm.
Korean, Chinese, Japanese, Indian, it's fine. He doesn't mind, but these things he'll say, "ये English में होना है, otherwise I'm not going to, you know, watch it." I will
Okay.
look for, if I like one drama, I will look for it specifically, whether it's in English or not. And then I will keep. There was one Alchemy of Souls that I really loved. And since it's a Netflix drama, it had multiple languages also. So I said,
Hmm.
see, English, mein, so let us watch it. And he watched the first episode and like, no, I cannot. It is just very boring for me. I'm not able to get into it. I'm like, why? It is very interesting. I tried. Actually, I tried. That's the hardest I've ever tried. In the end, it was
Lovely. Thank you for sharing that with us. And so happy to know that you were able to relate to so many of the nuggets from Fitmelt. Very, very happy
that
as an author.
yes, yes. That is one of the main points that made this book interesting for me because I was expecting a story, and this is, yeah, it's uh, like, like I'm reading memes that I wanted to read. So, when I'm bored or when I am in a really bad mood, when I'm really down or something, I could pick this up and I could just go through some of the memes.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That
it is.
means a lot. So I'm sure you also have a few questions for me related to your readings. I would love to let's get to that.
Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, I told you I had a long list of questions, but I decided that to keep it to just two questions instead of, such long list. So, how and where did you get the idea for this book? This is these two questions that I have that I'm very, very, very curious about, and I need your answer for that. So,
So the idea was to have because I'm a multi-genre author. The initial idea was to have a book in each genre before I, rotated the circle and went back to another book of the same genre. So this book was initially supposed to be my fourth or fifth book because by then I had done other genres already. I had already had a poetry book. I had written a novel. I had written short fiction. So all those were done. Only non-fiction was left, and I wanted to do that in sometime in 2020 or 21. I wanted to put out this book, and the idea was already there in my head. The idea started with me sharing something like this on my socials bi-weekly or once a week. I used to put out a post where I was putting them out in the form of hashtag silly things that make me happy. When I started
okay.
doing the series, it was just to share something that, something very silly that happened in my everyday life, like, having a good hair day or trying a dish for the first time, making something new for the first time and turning out well, something like that. Very, very normal,
Mhm.
random, mundane things that I was sharing on my social media.
Yes,
And
yes,
to my
yes.
surprise, they connected very well with the followers on social media, and that
Yes,
gave me the encouragement of probably
compiling it.
the thought was there in my head, the seed was sown that maybe this can be converted into a book. Why not take it
Yes.
one step ahead? But at that time something happened. Life had probably some other plans, so the idea, I already had started working on the idea. I also started creating the word document where I was listing down all these. Whenever I was
Yes,
putting
yes,
out something on the social media, I was putting it down in that
yes,
word document, and I had already prepared about 50 nuggets. There are 162 nuggets here. 50 or 55 of them were already ready in back in 2020-21 when the
wow.
plan was there to put the book out. I didn't put out all of them on my social media. Only a few of them were out by then, but I had already started curating the list. कि इसके बाद
Yes,
ये, इसके
yes.
बाद ये. So
Uh-huh. Huh.
that was always there. Now something
Hmm.
not so good happened when the plan was already in motion. Something not very good happened related to my social media. I lost my Instagram account. It had a very good following of 13K followers. So I lost that.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
with that, my will to work on this content was also lost because I lost my confidence in it. I was not, very motivated to create something like this, continue doing it. And
Yes.
then came another blow. I was just picking myself up, and then came another blow. I lost the second Instagram account also within 3 months. The one that I had created following the one that I lost the
Uh-huh.
other one also. So
Huh.
completely demotivated and completely
Okay.
lost confidence in this content.
Hmm.
And it went into my drafts folder. Some probably never to be published again.
Yeah.
This was 2021. This was 2021 when I completely,
Hmm.
closed the chapter on this. I
Hmm.
maybe thought that, maybe I will do it, but that the motivation was not there at all. Ki karungi ki nahi karungi, I was not sure. I just wanted to move on with other things that could make me, happier or move on from this particular chapter. So I let it be. And it was at that time around that I joined, became a very active blogger. I became part of various communities where, bloggers connect with each other and they pull each other up and share content with each other and appreciate each other, hype each other up. And as part of one of those communities, I took part in a challenge where in April every year, you are supposed to pick one letter from the English alphabet every day in the month of April. It's called the A to Z challenge, and the community is Block Chatter. They have been phenomenal in my writing journey. So,
Definitely.
I, yeah, in 2024 sometime I spoke to one of the people from the block chatter team. She was on the show, Suchita, and we were discussing that how there is some or the other content always in the back of our head and lying on in our drafts folder, and we never go back to it. And when I asked her what is something like that she wants to work on, and what if she takes it up as part of the A to Z challenge for the coming year, and she spoke about that idea. And when she spoke about it, I also got the encouragement to go back to this particular bit of content that was lying in my drafts folder, probably never to be touched again. And that was
Yes.
the that was the rekindling point for me to go back to the content. I was still unsure about it, that it might work, it might not work. I was still in double minds, but I
Yes.
took up the courage, and in that particular challenge, I went back to the 50 nuggets that I already had and converted them into the alphabetical order that we were supposed to follow for
Hmm.
the blogging challenge. And for April 2025, I took up those nuggets that were already there. Some that were not there, I compiled those also. So for each day that we had to put up this challenge, and a blog related to one particular letter of the English alphabet, I chose to have five nuggets for each letter. So for A, there were five nuggets that I was putting out. For B, there were five. For C, there were five. In that
Hmm.
manner, for A to Z, I had 5 into 26 already ready. 150 nuggets were, oh no, 132 nuggets were already ready.
Hmm.
I am probably doing the math wrong, but yeah, somewhere around 130, 140 were ready.
I'm s- I'm in the
I'm doing
same
the
boat.
math wrong, but yeah, you understood what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
And when the challenge, so during the challenge, I got my confidence back in this particular idea because I got a lot of positive comments from the other bloggers who were doing the same challenge. We were engaging on
Huh.
each other's posts during the challenge, and I got a lot of positive response. And in fact,
Hmm.
some of the people, some of the bloggers had started commenting by saying that why don't you convert this idea into a book? So I was like, this
Huh.
is God sent. This is like a sign from the universe that I have to, you know,
Hmm.
now work on the idea. It's been 5 years, time to move on, Manali. So yeah, that's how I, took up the idea of reworking on something I had already thought about some years ago, and actively I began compiling those nuggets again. By the end of the challenge, I already had some nuggets already, but I thought that why not do it? I already had five for each alphabet I was mentioning earlier. Then I converted those into six. So I had uh, then started writing new nuggets to convert those into 162 nuggets, which are now a part of the book. So ultimately, you have 162 nuggets in the book. And when the
Mm.
idea came to me in 2020, 2021, I already knew that, I wanted something pictorial to represent the feelings that I want to convey through the
Mm.
nuggets. But we'll
That's
come to
better.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll come to that now. I think you also have a question related to that.
Yeah, yeah. I was because I use AI for generating images for myself. The images that I have in mind, I like to see sometimes. So uh, I have faced a few challenges by trying to do
Hmm.
it, because sometimes it comes as wonky as in, I have a young person in mind and comes an old person.
Yeah.
The generation comes as an old person. So it takes a few tries, three, four, five times as a ogre. So, but the images that you have are fairly complex, right? So because it's a scenery, it's not just a person, it's the scenery with a person in it. So I was wondering how hard it was for you to generate those images. Like, did you really struggle with AI for that, Gemini for that, or did you fight with a Gemini, or did you have a friend
Again,
relationship?
yeah, and again, it's a very complicated relationship, but now I'm very, very proud to say that I have tamed Gemini. I know what kind of prompts to put in to, get the results that I have in mind. But yes, it has taken a lot of attempts and a lot of frustrated nights, almost throwing my
Oh.
laptop sometimes. So yeah, it was not an easy journey. For that, I have to begin from point A. Where, as I was mentioning earlier, when the idea came to me, I already knew that, this would need a pictorial representation. Otherwise, it would not do justice for the kind of things that I want to convey. So I always had that idea कि जब भी book आएगी, I wanted an illustration with each nugget.
Hmm.
But the idea was
Hmm.
shelved, of course, within a year. 2021 में वो idea shelve हो गया. So, but at that point also, I had spoken to a few illustrators just to give them an idea of what I'm expecting, and maybe I will collaborate with them in the near or far future. But that was again shelved. And when I started working on it again in sometime probably in February 2025, right before the challenge, when I decided that this is going to be my theme for this year challenge. So I first sought respite in the applications and softwares that I already use, like Canva, and I resorted to trying out if something was already available like this, which I could, add my inputs into and use as part of the challenge. Fortunately, Canva had a few black and white comic strip type, storytelling type illustrations already. It had. So I used a few of those during the challenge. And for the other bits, so I also have to mention that during the challenge, I didn't convert each nugget into an illustration. For each
Understand.
post, as I was mentioning, there were five nuggets, and for out of those five, I created illustrations only for two. I I was just testing
Hmm.
it out first, as I was mentioning
Yes.
earlier, because I had lost confidence in whether this would work or not. So for
Yes.
out of five, there were only two illustrations in each post, and
Hmm.
I has used a combination of black and white and colorful illustrations in the challenge. So for the colorful illustrations, what I did was, since I was not able to, I was not that keen on the idea of using AI that much. I chose to use my own photographs, and I converted them into animated versions, graphical versions.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
that was the starting point of the illustrations that are a part of this book as part of that challenge. When that challenge
Hmm.
ended, I particularly reached out to those people who had said, that this should be converted into a book. I reached out to those 5, 6 people who had commented on my post during the challenge saying that this is a really cool idea, something that can be taken further ahead. So I reached out to them
Mm.
and I asked them for honest feedback, saying that since you have enjoyed the post so much, what is your thought about the illustrations and whether I should use the black and white illustrations or whether I should use the colorful illustrations? And unanimously,
Mm.
all of them said they preferred the black and white versions. So
Yes,
that was
yes.
decided first. So I chose
Mm.
to go with grayscale illustrations, and when I was just thinking about what I should do about it, whether I should hire an illustrator or not, I'd already started reaching out to few illustrators. But since this is a very graphically heavy book, the illustrator would have to be paid for per illustration and not just for
Yes.
one book. So
Exactly.
162 illustrations plus the book cover. That would make it
Mm.
163 illustrations. So the first impediment was the graphic designer would not have that much time on hand. The I already had a publishing timeline in my head. The
Mm.
whichever illustrator or graphic designer I would hire, they would not be able to deliver in that timeline because I wanted to put the book out within 6 months maximum,
Mm.
and they
Yes.
didn't have that much time on hand. No graphic illustrator would be able to give that much time.
Mm.
So
True,
that
true.
was the first impediment, and the second and biggest impediment for me as an indie author, you also understand, we are not like some the star authors out there who get paid very well for writing books or earn royalties that can fetch them a lot of
Mm.
money. We
Yes.
earn a fair yeah, our earnings are very very nominal when it comes to
Yes.
book writing and selling and publishing. We earn very minimal amount. So when the illustrators started sharing their commercials with me, I realized that this is not something I can afford to invest in as an indie author because the ROI would not at least take a few
Be
years. Ever. If
um,
ever I get the ROI, it would take a few years at least.
yes, true,
So that's
true.
when I decided I cannot afford to hire an illustrator or graphic designer. And then I started asking people around whether it's a good idea to use AI for generating the illustrations. And one of my very good friends, Siddhant, who's also a book reviewer, he suggested using Gemini because he uses Gemini very widely in his corporate job and he's well versed with the software. He said that
Mm.
try using it once. It gives very good results. Just to put in a prompt and see what kind of results come out, and then you can decide. And I
Oh,
have to tell you, one of the first illustrations that came out, I will show you. So I put in the prompt for this particular illustration. This is the first one that I tried out on Gemini. And I
and
was so
just
happy with the result. I was so happy with the result that on the spot, I decided that this is the software that I want to use. This is the application that will give me the kind of illustrations that I have in mind. And for
yes,
this,
yes, I can imagine.
yeah, there's no other character here. There's only one girl here. So for this
Mm.
one, the prompt was pretty simple, and it gave me the result I intended in just one attempt. But that was
Mm.
very early onset happiness that I had with Gemini. It was only later as I introduced more settings and more characters into my prompts, I realized that this needs a lot more taming and a lot more attempts would be going into it. For
Yes.
instance, there are a few bits here that, for instance, this one, yapping. Uh, I
Mm.
had to put in a lot of attempts into this one because I was trying to generate somebody who's yapping a lot. That is, of course, the character is me. But I
Yes,
also had to
yes.
do another character here. And when I was putting in the prompt for the other character, the Gemini, of course, was getting confused what the attributes of the other character were, and they were confusing both the characters' features with each other. So it takes a few attempts. I think after the fourth or fifth time, you generally understand what is working.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Good, good.
one more thing that worked really well for me was, that, as I mentioned earlier, I was using my own images and converting them into graphic versions for the challenge. So when
Yes.
I chose to use Gemini for converting those illustrations into grayscale mode, I used my own photograph as a base. So I observed the photographs, I looked at the setting, I looked at what I was doing in those photos, and then I
Mm.
put in the prompts accordingly. For instance, this is directly from, uh, just a minute, I'll have to.
Yeah.
Uh, looking at the correct illustration which I can show. Yeah, so this one where I'm eating an ice cream. Yes, of course, the ice cream has ice cream is another element that features a lot in the book. That's why the title also has an ice cream. So this
Yes,
is
yes.
directly taken from one of my photographs where I was, on a sunny day, I was sitting in a park and enjoying this cone of ice cream, and I've used that photograph as a base. And in that, I focused on what I was wearing. So I was wearing a t-shirt, I was wearing a denim jacket, I was wearing sunglasses, and my hair was open. And of course, the ice cream has to be mentioned. So I use this kind of elements as my prompts, and then the right kind of illustration turned up. So
Okay, okay, good.
making the illustration and the prompt as specific as possible helped me.
Yeah.
Defining the person that you want to illustrate, defining what they are wearing, defining where they are at, that helped a
Yes,
lot. Yes, of course, understanding that took a lot of effort.
yes, yes, definitely.
So yeah, पूरा एक lecture हो गया. Now let's make
Okay.
the mood a little light. Now we move on to my favorite bit, which is the rapid fire round. Ananya, how this we'll do this is we'll do back and forth. Okay, one question I ask, one question you ask. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So my first question to you is, uh,
Mm.
your alchemist belt or his magical flute? You can only carry one. Which one would you choose and why?
This is easy. I'll choose the belt because you can put anything in it. And I don't
Hmm.
have to carry my books in a suitcase. Huh.
Ah, that is true, true, true.
You can put
And
it in the
also,
bag, you can put it whatever you want.
yeah, the choice for me also, actually, to be honest. I would also have picked the belt. Your turn.
Okay. Okay. In one word, what was the first reader's reaction to your book?
I think the first reader reaction came through the blogging challenge that I was mentioning earlier. They were actually unaware that they were my beta readers. So that was the first reaction. And one of the very first reactions was this only: why are you not converting this into a book? So I was very surprised, and that brought back the confidence in it, and I was able to
Oh,
start working on it again.
okay. Cool, cool.
Okay, my next question to you is, if the Master of Darkness had a modern day job, what would it be?
Huh. He'd probably be a very law-abiding police officer
Hmm, interesting, yes.
because huh, because that is a very gray area.
Hmm.
So he has to be disappointing someone when he makes or for that matter, a very law-abiding judge also.
Hmm.
I just
Yeah.
uh, I just came back from reading from watching The Judge from Hell, the Korean drama. So yeah,
Okay.
a lot of judgy things in my mind.
Okay, nice. I like the professions that you picked. Okay, your turn.
Okay. Was there a certain plan you made to draft this book, or was it spontaneous? I think you already answered this question.
It was definitely very well planned. In fact, I would say this is the book that has had the most meticulous planning of all my books so far. Because it
Okay.
has taken
I
5 years
understand.
in the coming, so of course.
Yes.
Okay. My next question to you is, if Almeida could sneak into Netflix, which show would she binge watch?
Elmira, oh yeah, she will watch the most brutal shows, probably like uh, Vikings or maybe some very, that documentary on Roman history that was there on Netflix. So that was very brutal. I think it started from Cal, Forgot his name. Cal Cal. Oh God, this guy is supposed to have torched an entire room of party people. Yeah, so yeah, Shir was the most brutal shows on Netflix.
Roman Empire. It's a three-season documentary.
Roman Empire. Oh yeah, it's called Roman Empire. Yes, but it starts from the middle of the Roman Empire. So
Okay.
after, uh, yes, I
Okay. I just Googled it, so that's how I know.
understand.
Okay. Your turn.
My turn. Yes. In short, how long did it take for you to complete the first draft?
The honest answer would, I think, be 5 years, but then we know that I left it midway. So, actively, I would say I
Yes,
said
that would be the correct answer.
February to the time it was published, February to July, I think. Yeah. So, actively that much. Actively,
Okay.
6 महीने, subconsciously 5 years.
Okay.
Okay. My turn. Yor and Ananya walk into a modern day mall. Where do each of them head? The jeans section at a retail store or the ice cream parlor?
I think Elmida would go to the jeans section and Yor would go to the ice cream parlor because Yor is the nerd and Elmida is the frontlines warrior. So yeah, she would she would like the soft ice cream, the nice sweet ice cream.
Lovely. Okay, your turn.
Okay, so in one word, what was your family's reaction to this book when it came out?
You have वो दुखती रख दबा दिया. My family doesn't read what I write, so they don't have any
Really?
reaction. Yeah, they don't read whatever I write.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Uh,
Okay.
Not actively, at least. I
So,
don't know if they are closeted readers of my books. I wouldn't know that.
but they
But
know
they,
you're writing.
yeah, they know, and they promote it also. They are very vocal about what I do. They, promote me, hype me up, but they don't read it themselves.
The promotion is more important than the reading.
Exactly. So I am forgiving them for that part, the part of not reading. But I do remember my mother-in-law's reaction
Mhm.
when the first time she saw the cover, and that was the time I was like, yes, I've done the right thing. She looked at the cover and she looked at the girl on the cover, and she was immediately like, Manali, ye to tum ho. I'm like,
Yeah,
done. My job is
that's
done.
good.
That was the intention of putting that girl on the cover. I intended her to look as much as me as possible, and the first reaction that came out of her was this, and I was like, okay, job well done, Manali.
Very good, very good.
Okay, my last question to you is, which mashed up title do you prefer for both of our books? The Young Foreigner and the Frozen Desert, or My Jeans Fit Well in the Sahara? Or maybe you want to come up with one of your own title, mashing up our books.
I think Young Foreigner and the Frozen Desert will go better. Because kind of, I, don't- I mean, I'm not able to explain what it is. I feel this will be a better
Okay,
mashup title.
okay, thank you so much. And now your last question.
Okay, so if one of my characters were to fit into your book, which one would it be?
I actually liked Merlin a lot because he's quite quirky. The other characters are a
Yeah,
little bit serious, I felt, and he brings a little bit of comic relief in the entire book. So I think he would fit very well into Fit Melt. I started laughing when he did that. When they come to meet him for the first time in the cave, and then he was cheering for Fior standing on the sidelines. He was not into even trying to help. I was like, yes, this is the kind of person I want.
ग्रेजुएट हो गया अब मेरा काम भी हो गया so I don't have to
Exactly.
do it.
Yeah, I don't need to intervene now. वो handle कर लेगा अब.
It's actually like 500 years old, so it's more than high time he retired.
Yeah. So yeah, I think he would fit perfectly into my fit melt universe. Okay, now Ananya, we come to the last segment of the show, where we will play a little game called the Fit Melt Bingo. I am going to ask you a bunch of questions related to the nuggets from the book, and you just have to answer in yes or no. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So the first one is witnessed a sunset in the witnessed a perfect sunset in the last 7 days.
Perfect sunset.
Hmm.
7 days.
Hmm.
No, I've gone out only. I mean, at that time.
Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Next one. Own a pair of jeans that fits just right.
Yes. Yes. The
Love.
one I got from D, that was the best.
Mhm. Awesome. Next one. Ate ice cream before it melted.
Yes, actually, that's a very huge feat, especially since I had my child. Huge feat.
Okay, great. And congratulations on achieving that then.
Thank you.
Next one. Nailed a witty comeback at the right time.
No,
No?
definitely not. My husband, yes.
Okay, next one. Went on a peaceful walk alone.
Yes, that happened.
Lovely. Next one. Got lost in a great book.
Oh, yes. Many fantasy books.
Okay. I was kind of hoping that, yes, Manali, I got lost in your book. Okay.
I actually couldn't because child, I'm a mother, so I'm talking
Understandable.
about my bachelor days. Bachelor days. Before I got married.
Okay, next one. Took a shower without adjusting the knobs in the past week.
Past week, no, no, no. I was very alert.
Okay, next one. Took up a new hobby or did something creative.
Yes, definitely. It would be my drawing and painting that I took up after 10 years.
Oh,
This year I took.
congratulations. Nice. Okay. Next one. Heard a song you forgot you loved.
Oh, yes, there are many that are resurfacing now.
Okay.
And
Lovely.
because of that, I watched a movie that I missed when I was a kid.
Oh, okay. Great. Next one. Found an old note or photo.
Yes, mm, less mine and more my parents.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
random goes up in my grandparents' place sometimes.
Okay. Next one. Spotted a rainbow in the past year.
Here,
Hmm.
I maybe I think I do remember seeing a small figment of a rainbow, very faded. Yeah. So that
Okay.
yes, it would be.
Okay. Next one. Had a random idea that sparked joy.
That's part
Joy.
joy.
Hmm.
Huh. Mm, I think yes. Like when I get a new idea to engage my toddler, because he doesn't sit in one place for too long, as long as I would like him to anyway. So yeah, a good idea
Okay.
would
Okay.
be
Lovely.
joy.
Next one. Took yourself on a date or day out.
Mm, yes, mostly
Hmm.
to a bookstore.
Oh, yes. Our favorite thing. Yes, I can totally relate to that. Next one. Smelled something baking.
Yes,
Oh, nice. Next one.
when I
Had a
can.
good hair day. Had a good hair day in the past 2 weeks.
No, I never do. Especially with a toddler. Especially with a toddler.
Oh, yeah. Next one. Pop the bubble wrap. I think you already answered that.
Yes, yes.
Next one. Ate your comfort food.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Next one. Gazed at the moon in silence.
Yes.
Oh,
Especially during particular lunar eclipse. Yeah.
great. Yeah. Next one. Bought something that made you giddy.
Giddy? Oh, yes. Book. Some book. I don't remember which book it was, but yeah, it was a book.
Spoken like a true book lover. Yes. Good one. Next one.
Me on the entire time. Oh, I got my book.
Totally relatable. Yes. Okay. Next and last one. Reconnected with an old friend.
Reconnect. Yes, I did. Not,
Okay.
I wouldn't call her a friend. She used to be my friend.
Okay. Yeah, but you reconnected. Great.
Yes.
Next. You've done very well on the bingo. I
Thank
think
you.
you answered most of them in yes. So well done, Ananya.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that brings us to the end of the episode. Before I let you go, I have to ask you, when are you coming up with the next book so I can invite you again?
Yeah, the second book was already released.
Hmm.
The Lost Fable was released in 2022. Yes.
Okay.
And December of this year, on 4th December, I'm going to release the third book.
Oh, lovely. So I hope everything is going on track and all the best for that. I look forward to hosting you with that book again soon.
Yeah, sure.
And thank you so much for doing this. Anything else you want to tell me or the audience before we sign off?
Uh, okay. If I did anything wrong with this live, please tell me. I'm open to criticism.
You were very good. You did very well for somebody who's doing this for the first time. I am impressed.
Oh, oh, great. Thank you. I guess all those Zoom calls worked when I was working.
And for everyone else, check out our books on Amazon for one last time. I'm going to show you the cover of both the books. This is my book, the My Jeans Fit Well and the Ice Cream Didn't Melt. This is my book, and this is Ananya's book. You can check out both on Amazon. I will be sharing the book buying link on my stories later today, but you can check them out on Amazon. Both of them are available on Kindle Unlimited. So if you have the subscription, you can read it for free. And if you want the paperback also, it is available on Amazon. So go check it out. Thank you so much for doing this, Ananya, and have a great weekend. Bye.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.